Love is a beautiful thing. Literally, the dream of everyone is to find that special someone someday that they can spend the rest of their lives with. And it's not just limited to the Eros type of love, but also the true and unconditional love, like the love of a mother for her children, or even the eternal love of God towards us all. To all the singles out there, if that guy or girl you've been eyeing seems not to feel the same way, have solace in the fact that God Himself loves you. With all my talk about love, you all might be thinking that I'm some kind of expert at it. Well, make no mistake, I have no experience whatsoever, and the experience I do have is not one many people ever get to experience. Anyway, here's my experience. My name is Rick. I'm an accountant in a small business corporation in town. And quite honestly, I am pretty satisfied with the life I live. Although it's not flashy and overly off the top, it's comfortable because it's me, myself and I against the world. I am also a social wreck, having zero friends in real life. I did have a bunch of friends on the WeChat app on my computer, although none of them even reply my messages or even have any meaningful conversations with me. I'm telling you all of this so that you will understand my surprise when I got back from work one day and saw that I had 5 new notifications on my computer from the WeChat app. I was surprised and had no idea who could have sent me a message. I clicked on the notification button and opened the app. The messages I got were from a user named Sophie2003. I clicked on the message and was actually shocked by what I saw.
Hi Rick, I'm Sophie. It really is an honor to make your acquaintance. You're really cute, by the way. Hope to make great friends with you.
I didn't even know how to respond, so I typed, "Thank you. Pleased to make your acquaintance as well, Sophie." Immediately I sent that, I received the notification instantly.
Smileys, it's my pleasure.
And so it began, the journey that would lead to a beautiful love life. Or will it? The next few weeks were actually pretty amazing. We had the best of conversations. I finally found someone who had an interest in my comic book obsessions. I could even say that I was starting to develop some feelings for this girl, whoever she was. I got back from work one day and barely even took off my shirt, and I was already in front of my screen, anticipating a quick message from Sophie 2003. "Hi Sophie, just got back from work." She texted back almost immediately.
Where have you been?
There was a sudden change in the atmosphere around me, like someone suddenly drew all the heat from the room with a vacuum and replaced it with a sudden breeze from the Antarctic. I felt the fear creep slowly up my spine. "I was at work, Sophie. I'm sorry it took so long." She typed pretty quickly.
My name isn't Sophie.
"What? That's the name you gave me."
Well, it's not my name. My name is Lilith.
Stop joking around, Sophie. Look, I'm sorry I stayed away for so long, okay? She took a while to respond, and then she replied,
It's okay. I'm sorry too. How was work?
The air seemed much lighter now, like some weight had been lifted from me. I took a long sigh, and then went back to chatting with Sophie. Honestly, I think I might be one of those idiots who falls in love with someone over text, because I began to grow more and more fond of Sophie, to the point where I actually started to picture us together. I really wanted to meet her, but I hadn't mustered enough courage to ask her yet. That all changed 2 months after we started chatting. I asked one day if we could meet, and at first she seemed hesitant, but she agreed. I was elated beyond degree, and the butterflies in my tummy felt like they were about to burst right out. We made an agreement to meet, although the location she chose was really kind of weird and raised a few flags in my head, all of which, of course, I ignored because, like it or not, love beats common sense every single time. The location was a building I'd heard was evacuated 20 years ago for some unknown reason, but I guess that's more than enough time for someone else to have moved in and made it a residence. I thought Sophie and her family must have moved in there a while back and stayed there for a little while. At least that's what she told me. Turns out it was an empty residence after all, and no one really had lived there in a very long time, as all the grasses were overgrown, so much so that they covered the entire walkway. Now, hear me out. I know that there is no normal person in their right mind that would see all of these and still go ahead to wait around, or even be as foolish as to walk up to the porch and ring the doorbell, knowing fully well that there would be no one there to answer the door. But y'all are just gonna have to cut me some slack, because love makes you crazy. So, I walked up to the porch and rang the doorbell, which sounded much louder than I expected. A thrill ran down my spine as I started to think that I really shouldn't be here. Ah, there it was again. My brain trying to work, but my stupid heart wouldn't let it. As I stood there having an internal struggle with myself, I suddenly got jolted by the door opening slowly. Hello? Is anyone in? Sophie? Is that you? No response. I walked in slowly as I searched every corner for signs of life, any at all. Who then opened the door? Just as I was thinking of that little phenomenon, the door slowly closed shut with an even louder sound than the doorbell. My heart suddenly began to race in actual fear. The entire graveness of the situation began to dawn on me, and really fast too. I was stuck in here with whatever depraved individual that might be in here. I tried opening the door with all my might, but it just wouldn't budge. As I struggled with the door, I heard the faint whisper of a woman's voice. Hello, Rick. Or should I say, my love. I turned sharply and tried to make out the direction the voice was coming from. There was a kind of familiarity to it, even though I'd never heard the voice before. Who's there? I asked. It's me. Don't you recognize my voice? How silly of me. How do I expect you to recognize someone you haven't met before, just by voice alone? I started to bang on the door and scream for help as loud as I could. Too late did it dawn on me what the entire thing was about. As I kept banging hard on the door for someone to let me out, a strange apparition appeared in the corner of the room. It was a young woman wearing a white stained dress. I couldn't believe it. I was actually looking at a real-life ghost. I enjoyed every one of our chats, Rick. Now I have peace, knowing that even as a dead person, as an ethereal being from another realm, I can still find love. Now you have to be with me. Stay with me, Rick. Stay with me forever. This entire thing made no sense to me. How in the world did ghosts even use phones? Did they have some kind of social media for ghosts or something? None of it really made any sense. The only thing that did make sense, however, was that I had to get out of here immediately. I tried for the door again, but it wouldn't budge. Why struggle, my love? Don't you want to be with me forever? I thought you wanted to see me. Here I am. I didn't ask for this. Please, just let me go, I cried as I fumbled with the door handle. You fool! You have no idea what you've done by rejecting me. The house began to shake with such intensity that I thought it might actually collapse. The rotten furniture began to fly all over the room as Sophie 2003 made her way towards me. Suddenly, I had a flash of memory pass through my head. Sophie died in this house in 2003. That is why she's tethered to this place, and why no one has taken the place in so long. I had stupidly fallen in love with an ethereal being. She walked slowly towards me as she spoke softly.
Don't fight it, my love. Soon, you and I will be together, and nothing will pull us apart.